several significant contributions to myself, and I'm sure to everyone else. And he went away for a little while, but he came back. I'm glad he came back. And one of his most significant offerings, in my opinion, is the Octane scale. And so going back to what I just said about the counselor who counseled me and my ex, this is highly significant because even though I had a PhD, most people here know me as Dr. Dunbar. They see me in this avatar right here dressed as a, hey, I gotta say it, a high value man. They see me dressed here as that, but even after getting my PhD, I still didn't quite know, how should I say this? How to present myself the best way. I didn't really understand what a lot of our women were looking for. And I just didn't really understand how to present myself in the best way. I'll just say that. And I didn't know how to own my title. And I didn't know how to have what Dr. Robert Glover, author of No More Mr. Nice Guy, called a social confidence. So there were a lot of pieces missing when I defended my thesis at the University of Michigan, and the Octane scale helped to explain a lot. I enjoyed BGS's and Ron Will's insecure reviews. There have been a lot of discussions about submission, a lot of discussions that BGS has done with Dr. Tiasan Johnson about how our boys have been neglected and how that needs to change for the entire community to turn around. There have been a lot of talks about the gender wars, the control dynamics within our community. And what we're going to talk about tonight is how girls, somewhere along the line, being taught how to be wives and those types of things, the ball has been dropped. And most recently, he dropped a very interesting video about old settlers. And by the way, there's an Octane scale for men as well. And there's a lot of valuable game in that video as well. Last bullet point. One of the things that has intrigued me most about all of BGS's content is the concept of partners versus wives. I have 3 questions for him when he comes up, and then after that, I'll open it up. But with that, I'm going to bring on the master teacher. Oh, by the way, everyone, thanks for coming out. If you want to support the channel, my Cash App is in the description box below this, but I'm going to leave it in the chat as well. So I'm going to bring BGS up right now. I'm giving you a virtual bow and a salute.
So we're peers. We're peers, man.
Oh, no. I consider us Master Jedi and Jedi Apprentice.
Okay. All right.
You're that red lightsaber, so I might be a Sith apprentice.
Red lightsaber is for the red pill. So
okay.
That's what the red lightsaber is for.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, go ahead and shoot. You know.
All right. Let me
tell me where you want me to jump in.
All right. I'm going to ask you. Let me just. All right. There's my Cash App. Go to StreamYard. Does cost. Okay. So
yes, it does.
The first question. I have 3.
Mm-hmm.
I first thought about this distinction between wives and partners in the Octane scale for the 92.
Okay.
And I wondered, okay, what does that mean? Because who's ever listening to this, you should go listen to that video, watch that video. I was just wondering, because there are a lot of 92s here in Washington, D.C., in the government, on Capitol Hill, everywhere. So why would a 92 be more interested in a partner in partners as opposed to husband wife?
Okay. Because of the way they're trained, right? 92s, to make it through that gauntlet, to be, a 92, get your bachelor's, master's, working corporate or wherever you work, right? You have to be more a little more aggressive. What is it? I'm trying to think of the word for it. Yeah, there's another word for aggression, but in the business world,
tenacity.
Well, tenacity is part of it. But the thing is, as far as making money, trying to think of ambitious. So 92s have to be more ambitious. Okay. Even you yourself have to be ambitious. You got to be ambitious. You got to be disciplined. You have to be aggressive because to get a PhD, for a black man, for a black male, start from 5 years old. Okay, there's so many landmines that you got to walk through to get to where you are. And like I said, only 1%, less than 1% actually make it to where you are. So you have to be all of those things. You have to be ambitious. You got to be aggressive. You got to be a whole bunch of things, especially in STEM where you are. Okay, that doesn't come easy. So it takes a certain kind of personality, even though you're soft spoken and you're humble. But the thing is, there has to be certain ambitiousness inside of you. Okay, and that's what the women carry, the same thing. So 92s really are not that supportive because their person to get where they are and get to the position where they are, they can't be supportive. They have to be sort of like in the lead. Okay, that's how come. All, especially in this feminist society that we grew up in, they're taught to see themselves as them first, and then looking for people to support them. So that's like they're not supportive. Okay, like wives are supportive. That's why 92s are partners. They're looking to partner with somebody on their level to actually further their ambitions in life or whatever those ambitions are. So they're looking for somebody that matches their ambition, their worldview, their outlook, so they can actually supposedly work together to attain something, right? Okay, that's a partner. It's like in going into business, like being on a basketball team. Okay, you're looking for a partner to run with, right? To actually achieve something with, and that's the biggest theme in 92, because I'm actually outlining the book right now, and that's one thing I'm probably going to put in as an attribute is as a keyword, which is achieving. Okay, and that's even in your profession, you're always looking to further your career, further your knowledge, all that kind of stuff. So there's a certain level you want to achieve, and that's part of being a 92. So when a 92 kind of runs out of that, they kind of lay dormant. But so and what a 92 octane is, a female is supposed to be a partner, also one help you achieve as you help her achieve, but also push you. Okay. So 92 octanes don't normally settle. And then when they do settle, they're not happy about it.
Okay. Now, when you say settle, you mean for a man who's not as ambitious, or a man who doesn't?
Or whatever qualities that she thought she's worthy of, as far as achieving her dream, because this all comes in one big package as a dream. And the career, because they're career minded, they're ambitious, they want to network and all that stuff. In fact, that put up a post of Dr. Neal actually saying the same thing about they're concerned about going on their networking and they're going to their balls and their soirees and their female groups. They're not really interested in men per se. And so basically he's saying the same thing that a lot of what I call 92 men actually struggle with our black women. Mm-hmm. In fact, this whole election thing, I'm probably going to have to do a video of that later about what's going on with Ice Cube and him supposedly going against what I think is the gynocracy. Okay, I have to do a video on that later because I know I've heard people say something, but they're not actually getting what's going on, even though I've kind of mentioned it. But anyway,
there's a young sister. I think she's attractive on Twitter. Wow, but she's in the Harris camp, and she was going in, eyes rolling, looking disheveled, just tearing you down.
There's a whole reason for that, but that's probably a little bit out of the scope with this video. So we'll talk about that later. But I'm saying I know you got bullet points, so we're gonna kind of keep it on track and not drift too far.
No, I only have 3. I didn't want to bog us down. I know, eventually we want to open this up, but okay. So going back to partners versus wives. So does that mean that most 92s are not interested in cooking or doing those wifely things, or are they just content to say we're going to hire a housekeeper and a nanny and boom, that's it?
The they are interested, but that's not their primary thing. Okay.
Yep.
And cooking and cleaning, you know, if they have time, that's only part of it. Now you can get what they call what they call a 92 wife, which is normally a bougie wife. That's what I call it. I call them failed like 100 octanes. Okay.
Okay.
They're pretty. They've been raised upper middle class. They have all the finer graces, and they drop down into what they call and become a 92's wife. But even they have certain ambitions about where they live and what kind of house they should have, what kind of car they should drive, all kind of stuff. So there's a little variance, you know, as always. But the thing is, that will be called a 92 wife. Now she's there for support, but also she's going to push you because, you know, she want to live in a bigger house. She want to live in that, you know, that 6,000 square foot mansion, you know, or mini mansion with the Jaguar in the driveway. Mm-hmm. So yeah, with, you know, there's slight differences, but the thing is always ambition. They're ambitious in a different way.
Okay. And you know, if no one's ever anyone listening has never been to Washington D.C. to the Congressional Black Caucus and Legislative Conference, that's all you see. You kind of see it all there. Mm-hmm. You see all these movers and shakers and these ambitious people and
on steroids, yeah.
On steroids, yeah. It's something to see. Definitely something to see. So you know what? Before we go to number 2, you know what's interesting is going back to the male octane scale. I was thinking about this today. What was interesting is that in that you stated that, on the male side, we can all hang together in a way that the women are less likely to. So we'll get up and we'll play basketball. One guy could be a lawyer. One guy could be an electrician. One guy could be a trash man. We can all crack beers and sit and watch the football game.
Yeah.
But for them, it's more exclusionary.
Yeah. It's which also is probably is going to be a chapter in the book. I actually borrowed it from Cousin Tita, or if you're going to get his book, I'm trying to remember the name of the book. But he goes by the name Scorpio. I actually had to find the book and put his book in the description, but not description, but in the chat. He, in one of his chapters, what he call it is a Fae group, right? Which is a female hierarchy group. And basically a female hierarchy group is the mini, I would say mini coven, but that's the group where females of certain class actually hang out amongst themselves as peers, and then they have a hierarchy within that. But basically that's what you have to go through. Say if it doesn't matter whether you're 85 or 100 octane, basically all these women kind of cluster together like in a I would say like in a hen coop, right? In a coop.
Yeah.
And basically, and I'm sure you've gone through the dog and pony show. So after you get a girlfriend and she has to show you off to her group, and you have to be accepted by her group.
That was another powerful piece of that offering, was that the group has to accept you.
Yes. And
that goes back to, I know the high value man irritates a lot of people, but when you're running in certain circles,
yes,
that all becomes important.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's critical. And it doesn't, you know, in certain circles, it exhibits itself more, but trust and believe, man. If you have, and I've dated them, you can have a hood chick or a project chick, right? And if you guys are going to be a pair, she's going to do the same thing. Okay. It doesn't matter. She's going to have to, you're going to have to hang out one day, whether it's a party or a cookout or whatever, where you have to meet the group. We saw that with Tasha in Insecure, right? Even though she's in 87, you know, once they became a couple, he had to come to the barbecue. He had to come to the cookout so he could meet the folks, so he could get checked out.
Right.
And when he failed that test, she broke up with him. You notice right after he split and he disappeared, she didn't hesitate. She got on the phone and she broke up with him right then and there. But that's, like I said, that's part of it. That's part of it. But that's just one shit test that women will take you through. Men don't have that. That's one thing that's a difference between men and women. Men don't care about your mate. If you guys have shared interests, you know, your wife could be a bitch. They don't care. Okay, man, your wife's a bitch. Yeah, I know, man. Hey, so when are you gonna get this beer? They don't care, but your woman is your problem. Your wife, your girlfriend is your problem. Your wife is your problem. But
Yeah.
with women, the husband is part of the group and has to be accepted by the group.
Yep. Well, Master Teacher, you know, another one that was pretty popular a couple of years ago. I haven't heard as much about it recently, and even before COVID, but the passports. A lot of the women would ask you up front, do you have a passport?
Oh, yeah. If you're 92, yeah, it makes sense.
Yes. And I was at home in Buffalo. Me and my mother were driving around, and I told her that this was going on. And she looked at me and she said, you know, that sounds kind of shallow. And I said, well, this is what they're doing. This is what they care about.
But it's shallow to your mother, but your mother, I figure she's like an 89. I don't think she's really a 92.
Yes.
Okay. Whereas a 92, that's part of the lifestyle.
Yep.
Okay. And you can't be part of her lifestyle if you don't have a passport, because, you know, that's what they do. And if her and her friends, or if her you know, her friends and their husbands or boyfriends are going to the south of France on vacation, and she's going with them, and she has to show up with a partner, you're a partner. You got to go with her. So you have to have a passport. But that's part of the lifestyle.
Yep.
Okay. That you accept when you get into this lifestyle. Yeah. Into that group.
Yep. So in other words, different tiers on the scale are speaking different languages.
Yeah, different language. Yeah, they live because different things are important to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on to number 2 here.
Okay.
Which is